Welcome one and all to Umami Manga. I'm Petter and this is James.
How's it going?
And today we're talking about Volume 5 of Jujutsu Kaisen. And first things first, I'd like to apologize for having referred to Akutami as he in previous episodes. Since we recorded the Volume 4 discussion,
Ah,
it's come to my attention that Gege Akutami is a pen name and that their real name as well as their real gender are unknown to the general public.
hmm.
So, just to not misgender or assume a gender, I'm going to try to refer to them as they or them, yeah, from now on.
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Yeah. But yeah, this volume, I think it focused on a lot of characters, obviously specifically the students, of course. So yeah, I thought it was a blast to follow or to get to know some of them properly, or kind of, as well as obviously getting some further information on others. But do you have anything else you want to say before we dig into the characters?
I wish we would go through this series quicker.
Same. I really do, especially knowing how much we have ahead of us.
There's so much, and
There,
we're not
yeah,
even really halfway through the first season. Maybe. Well, I guess we're getting close, but still, it's like
yeah.
I want to know what happens next.
Yeah, and yeah, because I've also thought about this. Because for you, obviously, you've seen the first season, and I'm sure you're excited for season 2. But I wonder
We're not
when
gonna
are we,
even make it.
or yeah, you may not be able to watch season 2 as it airs, and well, unless you want to get spoiled. Which I mean,
It's your
that's
fault,
it's
Petter.
your call, I
It's
guess.
your fault,
But
Petter.
it is like it is
I'm
my fault for
blaming
having
you.
started this.
No, I'm happy to be on this journey, this slow process, but
Mm,
yeah, I gotta tell you, like for some reason by the end of the anime I was kind of feeling not as high on the overall show as I
okay,
was towards the beginning for whatever reason. I don't know what
gotcha.
it was, but then the movie comes out and then we start reading Jujutsu Kaisen again, and it just really just kind of refueled my hype and excitement for the series. So, volume 5 fantastic, and it just gets juicier and just more pleasing to watch.
Mm.
And just to preface, or not preface, but to clarify, it's not so much that the quality of the content drops at the end of the season or anything like that. It's just for some reason I think I got into a funk or just a weird mood that maybe not enjoyed as much for whatever reason. But
Mm.
don't worry, it's still really good.
Sounds good. Well then, let's start by talking about Yuji Itadori today. I like that Jennifer Lawrence was mentioned again as an example of Yuji's type, and I was a little bit kicking myself for not thinking to mention that as a, well, I guess prediction of sorts last time. I did, however, message James after the recording, but before I started reading Volume 5, that, oh my gosh, Jennifer Lawrence, because I listened back to our Volume 1 discussion where he mentioned her. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's got to say that, and he did. But yeah, I didn't mention it on air or whatever, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, it was still funny to see that he has a similar type as Toto does.
Yeah, that was funny, and the unknowingly creating a bond that he never wanted, but by the by the middle of the volume, it seems like he's taking advantage of Toto's kindness.
uh,
Um,
yeah.
it, Toto's brand of kindness, but we'll touch on that later. But I
Hmm.
just thought the fight with Toto was just so good.
It was.
I mean, the lessons that were expounded on, not just that, but just the choreography of the fights.
Hmm.
Just the paneling is so good.
It really is. I love the way that we saw Yuji take advantage of the environment in his combat
Yeah.
with Toto. I don't know if we had seen that specific thing from Yuji before, but at least I loved seeing it in this fight.
Hmm.
And it's something I always enjoy in choreography. It's just using the environment to your advantage.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you mentioned about like how Toto helped Yuji kind of understand some of the things about how kind of cursed energy flows through the body, and it seems like that new wisdom is gonna maybe get rid of Yuji's divergent fist, if or at least that's how I understood it. I think like to fix that. Like that's something that's wrong, or at least according to Todo, it was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume this means that once Yuji, I guess, masters the the control of the cursed energy in his body, he will be able to maybe make each punch a single punch, but twice as powerful.
Yeah.
Is that maybe how we're supposed to take that?
I wonder, it is kind of hard to follow the explanation that he gives, just a little bit, he
Mm.
being Todo, because he just kind of ends it on a philosophical statement, and then Yuji's like, "Okay, I get it now." It's like,
Yeah,
wait,
right.
what did you get? Enlighten me. But rereading it and just kind of trying to process it makes it sound like, don't think about the curse energy coming from a certain spot. Think about it
Mm.
being all around you, like inside of you, at every point, so that
Yeah.
there is no hesitation. It's just right there as soon as you move. So I do think it could be implying that the hesitation, like, the 1-2 punch thing is going away. I don't know if
Yeah.
the term divergent punch is gone. To be honest, I can't even remember. But um it is kind of funny if that ends up being the case, where a move that had kind of become his signature thing
Right.
is quickly just thrown away.
Precisely. Which, yeah, because I thought that was such a cool idea of like each punch being like one immediate and one
Right.
slightly after. Like, I thought that was such a cool gimmick. But if this means that he can do a single punch that is just as I said, a single punch, but
Mm-hmm.
having the power of both punches in one, I guess that's better technically.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It doesn't sound as cool, but
Right.
I guess it's better.
Yeah. Anything else on Yuji?
No, actually, I think this is the least amount of notes I've ever taken on the man
Mm.
up until now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he was really just in the first third of the book, kind of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah. Well then, let's talk about Panda next.
Panda.
He's not a panda.
Hey, you a panda? No, I'm not a panda.
It's so funny how like in almost every book so far, it's been kind of reaffirmed like he's just a panda. Even in this book, that was mentioned slightly. But then it turns out that he's not a panda. Like, he's a cursed corpse created by Principal Yaga, and he has like two older siblings inside of him that grant him the ability to transform into their shapes.
Hmm.
That I don't know, with all of that, like his backstory and everything, I thought like he grew a lot in I guess level of interest. I thought it was really cool to find out all about that.
Absolutely. I think when you first see just this talking panda, you're like, okay, and there's no explanation for it. You really do kind of relate to Nobara in that moment, all those volumes ago. But then here, yeah, we get some just big reveals that no, he's not a panda, and there's more to him than just a funny panda, a funny
Yeah.
panda-looking thing. Um,
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And like on top of that, also really understanding just how genuinely kind he is was also something I really liked. Like his
yeah.
willingness to help Mechamaru, I thought was just beautiful. Like they were
Hmm.
enemies in a sense, like not to the death, but like they were on opposing teams. But by the time he had defeated Mechamaru, he was, he wanted to, help him kind of reach his goals or fulfill his wishes. And he didn't care about his appearance or anything like that, as probably a lot of people have done throughout Mechamaru's life. So like it was just so heartwarming to see Panda that way, and just yeah, just so kind and sweet.
It's just so interesting that you have this cursed corpse born sentient with emotions, and yet he seems to be more human, and the kind of qualities that you would want to strive for, than maybe some other people.
True.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's kind of an interesting concept there, but
Mm.
yeah, I really like this his fight with Mechamaru. I mean, all these fights are really good, but this one was pretty fun to see go down, and the fake outs that happened, and we get to see Gorilla Mode.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, his big brother.
Yeah. And it was mentioned that the core, like his big sister's core was crushed or something. And I wonder, does that mean that he lost her shape for good, or can he, like, does it just need some healing and then he can get that shape back again? Like, I'm
not
not
sure.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to read that. Hopefully it's not gone, like dead or, like, destroyed. Hopefully we will be able to see his big sister's form as well in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Mm.
When he first gets shot by Mechamaru, or was it Maki? I don't remember which shot him. He kind of like just plops on the ground, and they're
Right.
talking like how they took him out already, and he's like,
Right.
"Just kidding!" Wham! Like,
Yeah.
he's got like a 1-2 punch kind of a thing.
Right. Yeah.
I love that moment.
That was great. Yeah, I'm happy to actually say that I enjoy this character now.
Right? Yeah, definitely.
Very well. Should we talk about Aoi Todo next?
Yes.
Yeah, this guy's crazier than I thought. Like, and I
Dude,
already thought he was
telling
crazy.
you, man. I was telling
But I
you.
kind of like it. I think it's kind of funny and charming.
There is something endearing about it. I will admit.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, I don't know. Like, the guy just rubs me the wrong way sometimes.
True. I mean, certainly in some ways, I'm with you there. But at least from my understanding of his character in this volume, I also felt like it was kind of sad. Like,
I agree.
like
actually.
to see him make up this friendship with Yuji that never existed out of such a small little thing like that makes me feel like he might not actually really have any or many friends. And like this is his way to kind of cope with that, maybe. So I don't know.
I think there may be something there. I mean,
So it's kind of sad.
But yeah, like we mentioned, he bonds with Yuji really quickly. He has a hilarious school daydream moment. But I think it in the long run, I think it's really going to help Yuji become a better sorcerer.
Absolutely. I think it was like really great, like, teachings that he brought there. I thought he was a good teacher, better teacher than Gocho.
Yeah, it's true. Gojo's like, I don't know, you just do it.
Just watch some movies, dude. But, yeah, I guess my last thing on Aoi is or at least I don't think we knew it before, but finding out about his cursed technique that makes it so that he can make people swap places with each other. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely Jujutsu Kaisen continues to impress me with the unique powers that are shown here.
Right.
It's not, some of these are just not too common from it compared to other manga, I feel like.
For sure.
Last thing I have on Todo is just a comment on the face he makes when he's finished his daydream. He's like, I forget what he says, but he's just like staring up at the sky. He's got tears running down his face.
Oh yeah. It seems that we're best friends.
Yeah. that face.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Just, oh man, you gotta see the anime as well, because they do a good job in adapting it, and it's just so funny. It's like, what is wrong with this guy?
I'll definitely watch that once we're at that point in the manga.
Yeah.
Where season 1 ends. But yeah, lovely character. So next up, let's talk about Nobara Kugisaki next here. So we did get a very, very brief little thing about her past with Saori again in this volume.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, it was incredibly brief, and I didn't personally really understand, I guess, the importance of it being where it was. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. If I knew more about it, maybe there would be a logic to it, but I don't know. Still something I'm really curious about in general to find out more about.
it did seem like a bit unfair of a tease, like
Yeah,
almost like why should I even care?
true.
But to be fair, like it's clearly on her mind, and it's something that in that moment is she would be reminded of. It seems like so.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I guess for Nobata it makes sense, but give us the detail. Like we're so in the dark on all this.
Right? Yeah, because I feel like there's got to be a payoff on this at some point, but I don't
Yeah,
know. For how long are we going to be left in the dark on this? Um,
yeah,
upon rereading the series, after knowing everything, maybe that's going to be nice to have that
maybe,
there by
maybe
then, hopefully. but um, but yeah, right now it's a little bit it's a big mystery.
for sure.
We mentioned, or we talked a little bit about the anime earlier and how I haven't seen it, but or a part of a scene here that I imagine is pretty awesome in the anime was when Nobara started beating up Momo with a squeaky hammer. I
Yeah, I love
I
that.
imagine with the sounds to that, as would be in the anime, I could imagine that being pretty hilarious.
The fight in general is just really well done.
Awesome,
Um,
awesome.
yeah, I just definitely left an impression on me, and
Mhm.
it's her best moment, Nobata's best moment up until this point in the series, in my opinion.
Nice.
Just
Yeah, it's
whacking
definitely
on
up there.
another girl with a squeaky hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could hear the squeaks.
But it's not just a squeaky hammer. It's what she says. Like I love being strong. I love being beautiful. Or
Yeah.
I just love that, and how she's so true to herself. I may not like completely gel with her personality. You know,
Mm.
it's very like pushful and forceful. uh, but I do appreciate her strong sense of self, and
Yeah.
again, like how she is perceives herself as strong and beautiful, and I love that, and I think that's kind of powerful messaging in
Mm.
being true to yourself, but also having confidence in your abilities and whatnot. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
good
that's
for
awesome.
good for her.
Very awesome moment for sure.
So did we know before why they wanted to win this event for Maki?
I don't think so, or at least I didn't remember any of that before this volume.
Yeah, so that was cool to understand really why
Mhm.
Nobara had for a couple times said that we're going to do this for Maki.
Oh yeah.
That was really cool to see. But I mean, sure, we'll talk about that in her section. But
Mm-hmm.
Nobata seemed to be like kind of the main person, kind of saying that. I felt like.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really really cool because she really seems to have taken a liking to Maki. I mean, throughout
Yeah.
the previous books there. So yeah, it's beautiful. Very well. I want to talk a little bit about Kasumi Miwa next.
Okay.
Hello, Miwa the useless here. I was
I,
thinking, like,
oh.
like, girl, you need to believe in yourself more. Oh, because she's awesome. She is awesome. I guess she needs to learn a thing or two from Nobara maybe about like
Yeah.
confidence and believing in your yeah in yourself.
Yeah. To be fair, she got beat up by Maki, got her sword taken away.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
not a lot of good things had just happened to her, so
That's fair.
it's tough. But I
Mm.
agree that she's got to be kinder to herself.
Mm. Yeah.
Hopefully, she has good dreams. Dreams of getting her sword back, because she was put to sleep. Get, get it?
Oh, those sorts of dreams. Yes.
Yes.
I,
I was
no.
like, I feel like my joke is not registering. Let
Yeah,
me.
yeah, you felt correctly. But now I get you. All
To be
right, all
fair, that
right.
happens like 55% of the time.
Hey.
No, 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 no. That's more of a hit on me. Like I gotta, pitch my jokes better.
You're being too hard on yourself. You're being like Kasumi right now.
Oh no. I am Miwa. She's so relatable.
Oh my god. I do love her though. Like she's definitely one of the characters that I've taken the most of a liking to, I think. Um she is so likable, I think. Like
She's very likable.
definitely.
I want more.
For sure. We did learn that she comes from a poor family, or at least that she and her younger brothers are poor. I guess that
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean that the family in general is poor, but at least, yeah, she wants to provide for her brothers.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to start working and earn money quickly. I hope it works out.
Yeah, yeah.
Not right here, it didn't, but oh well.
Not quite, but
Oh well. Uh,
yeah.
let's talk a bit about Mechamaru next. This guy also got really interesting in this volume, kind of like Panda. I mean, he and Panda together got really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind getting to know him better still, and getting to know, well, his real name for one would be nice to know, and and maybe even seeing him get better, like physically, like his real body, see him improve somehow, if that's even possible. I think that would be awesome in the future.
I mean,
Um,
you gotta feel bad for him a little bit. I mean,
Absolutely.
sure, he comes off as a jerk and very rude to Panda and everything. Um,
Mm,
but some of that is his own insecurities. And again, as we mentioned before, they're supposed to be the rival schools, so of course they're going to be painted as
yeah.
as unlikable. But by the end of this fight, I felt like I wanted to help him in some way. I mean,
Right?
I can't do anything, but I would love for there to be a way for him to get out of that tub, to actually just have the sun on his skin and
Mm,
not feel pain, and that'd be awesome.
yeah. Yeah. And like, because when he said something like he would give up everything that he has, like
Yeah.
jujutsu wise, in a heartbeat, if he could just have a normal body that works or whatever, like that definitely got to me.
Yeah.
At least Panda definitely seems to want to help him out somehow.
Right. Yeah.
So that's super sweet, and it gives some hope to him, I think.
I really hope they have a friendship going forward and they
Yeah,
see eye to eye and help each other out. That'd be great.
absolutely.
But just because you have a sad backstory doesn't make you right.
No, that's very true as well.
It honestly is kind of a mantra for a lot of villains if you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, but yeah, no, I believe Mechamaru is a good guy.
Yep. One last thing I'll say about him is I just that Valentine's Day prank that he went back on. It's like, oh, the batteries, like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, Miwa had no idea. Like,
No, she was just gullible.
she was just super gullible. But Maya Momo, come on. Like, but you know what? Let's think of it positively. They
Yeah.
care enough about him to prank him. I guess they're really pranking
That
Miwa, but I
I
don't
guess
know.
you could say that. Yeah. Yeah, it really is a prank on both him and Miwa.
Yeah. No. I still don't like it, but I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah, right. That's good. Oh, well, next up, I want to talk about Mai Zen'in. And honestly, this volume got me to kind of like her
Hmm.
in a way I had not expected whatsoever before this volume came around.
Yeah.
Really. But like, I don't know, like just learning that, or at least what it seems like based on what we learn here, that her grudge toward Maki stems from feeling inferior to her, and to a degree feeling betrayed by her. uh like, I thought that was, well, it wasn't something that I had expected, really. Like, she just, well, she was content living as servants.
Right. Hmm.
uh but when Maki changed her life, Mai felt like she had to as well.
I don't think it was really much of a choice that she had to change her life. I think once Maki did that, I think they forced Mai to do so as well. Isn't that what it was?
That's probably more accurate to what it was. You're right. Yeah,
Because I
that
remember,
family would do that. Yeah.
I think Nabehito, the
The
head
Right.
guy,
Mm.
he mentioned that if Maki goes down this path, that I think you said the same thing would happen to Mai. Like they would reject her or something. I could be wrong, but um,
I mean, yeah, no,
regardless,
he did mention her.
I do feel like that it was not her choice, which would make her feelings against Maki even more
Mm.
understandable, because she was just kind of
True.
forced to do it
Precisely.
when she didn't even want to become a sorcerer.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right about that. And yeah, it definitely makes her feelings more understandable. I was already kind of sold on her, or kind of starting to like her, even the way I had misinterpreted, or yeah, I believe misinterpreted her slightly there. But with your correction there, yeah, it's even more. She's even more understandable. I like her a lot.
Now I could be wrong about her being forced by the house to leave as well, but it just seems to me that that would make sense unless she really wanted to follow Maki. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, like because at least the way I read it initially was that she felt like if she doesn't also do something like that, then she will feel inferior to her, and it yeah it's gonna be hard in that way. But I do think your idea there makes a bit more sense, especially considering the type of family that they came from. Like they would do
Right.
something like that,
They would totally do that.
right? So and plus it makes her even more relatable, or not relatable, but understandable as a person, which I enjoy a lot more.
Yeah, definitely more sympathetic.
Mm.
I really like her more so than the technique itself. I mean, which is still cool, being able to create that bullet out of thin air with the curse energy.
Yeah.
It was more so just the scene with it all happening. You know, Maki counting the bullets and Mai being
Mm.
like, that's what I expected you to do, and firing the bullet and everything that went down there. I thought it was just a really cool way to end their fight.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. They both kind of revealed, or at least to us as readers, kind of the aces up their sleeves or their special abilities in a way.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. Did you have anything else on my?
I just wish they could have a better sister relationship, but I understand why she has those feelings
Mm.
of hate, and you know, and maybe hate is too strong of a word for her to use, but just that's just she's just so frustrated and um,
Yeah.
upset with Maki more or less breaking her promise that's what she's saying.
Mm.
I don't think she really means that she hates Maki. At
I
least I
hope
don't think so.
so. Right. And I also I do think there's hope for them to, go back to being on good terms again at
Mm-hmm.
some point down the
Mm-hmm.
line.
Yeah.
That would be beautiful, honestly. Whenever or if ever that
If
happens.
ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I am definitely keeping my hopes up that it will, because it would definitely be wonderful.
Yeah.
But that I think leads nicely into our discussion on Maki Zen'in.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, she got her time in the spotlight. Now it's time for best girl to come here and just kick some butt. You know, I just, I'm a simp for Maki. I'll say it. Like,
It's all good.
gosh dang, this girl. I mean, okay, have you seen the Jujutsu Kaisen movie? Did you watch it?
I haven't yet. Actually, I
Ah,
I decided
no
to.
wonder.
I have decided. Well, I read the manga for Zero, but
No, no.
I have decided to watch the movie once we are caught up to where the anime season 1 ends.
Ah,
So that way I'll
gotcha.
watch the movie and the anime season kind of in a row. Is my plan. But anyway,
Gotcha. Well,
back to
what
Maki.
I'm trying to say, is, you know, if you've seen that movie, then you have no excuse not to simp for her because it's just it changes your life. No, I'm going too far with this. Anyway, she's strong, a resourceful beast, and you just see it in full force here, more so than ever before.
Yeah.
Just how she goes against Miwa and then Mai is just awesome. Love it.
Right. But like finding out that she actually has superhuman strength, or like or superhuman capabilities is how they
Physical
phrased it. But
capabilities, apparently.
yeah, like that was really interesting to find out, and how that's
Yeah.
kind of a trade, or like, well, I don't know, I don't believe it was like a conscious trade or anything like that, but she
Mm-hmm.
was born with these superhuman capabilities instead of a cursed technique.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just interesting for sure.
And I wonder, does that make her similar to Itadori in some way? Because
Oh,
Itadori also has these kind of unnatural, superhuman physical capabilities before all the
dude.
curse stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I don't
Dude, I
know.
like that. I didn't
Maybe
think about
there's
that, but
maybe
yeah,
there's
yeah.
something going on. Maybe there's more people like them
Precisely.
out there.
Yeah. Totally, totally. Hmm. Very interesting.
But unfortunately, her family, the Zen'in family, just if it had been any other family, potentially they would have utilized it. But this one's just so stubborn, old-fashioned, and bigoted.
Mm-hmm.
They're just
Right.
like, yeah, that's not really useful for us. So see you later. I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't even see you later. Really, there was more. They were more like, you're just gonna be our maidservant now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. My
so
gosh.
no, do not blame Maki for walking out. Especially
No.
when she herself felt like it would have been wrong, and she would have hated herself for not doing anything. Respect,
Right.
girl. Respect.
Yeah. I guess one thing, although I mean, it is a difficult situation to begin with, but something that maybe she could have tried to do if she had been able to foresee some of the coming issues would have been to maybe try to bring Mai with her and kind of maintain the bond that they had or something instead of leaving her then. Maybe, although obviously she couldn't have known exactly how things would pan out, but
Hmm.
I believe if she had made more of an effort to, I guess, maybe stick closer with her sister back then, maybe things would be better between them now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in a perfect world, I agree. You know,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
I have no idea if talking it out would have changed. I mean, I just don't think there would have been a better way for Maki to go about things. Um,
Mm,
at least when it came with leaving the Zen'in family. Besides just talking to Mai about it, say I got to do this. Um,
yeah.
I don't think staying. If Mai had said no, stay, and then Maki stays, that would have been lost for Maki. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. It's kind of a tough one.
For
But
sure, for
talking it out would have been a good a good
sure.
step at least.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Did we already know that the Zenny family is keeping her from becoming a grade 2 sorcerer?
I don't think we knew that before this volume. So that yeah, that was also interesting to learn that yeah, she's really extra challenged in that regard.
Right. And that's the reason why Nobara and Panda and all them are doing it for Maki. They want to win, they want to impress the
Mm.
peoples, the higher ups, so that they have no choice but to make her a grade 2. Because
Mm.
she absolutely deserves it.
She absolutely yeah, for sure. Yeah, everyone who sees her fight is like, "Oh my gosh, why is she not a grade 2 sorcerer?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, yeah.
I mean, just that fight with Mai. She cuts a bullet in half and then catches one. Like,
Yeah, right?
what?
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad we got the explanation that she has superhuman capabilities right
Yeah.
after that. Because if we hadn't, I would have been like, "What the hell just happened there? Like, what? How?"
Yeah.
um, but
Yeah. That's all they have on Maki.
let's talk a bit about Momo Nishimiya. She seems to really care a whole lot about Mai,
Yeah.
which is very sweet, and I'm really interested to see more, I guess, with them together. More of their
Mm.
interaction because we really just got to see them talking on the phone together in this volume, if I recall. So not a
Mm-hmm.
whole lot there, but what we saw like about how the way she talked about Mai in front of Nobara just made it seem like Mai is someone very special to Momo, and yeah, I just want to find out more about that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell she thinks very highly of her.
Hmm.
And there's a brief moment in Mechamaru's flashback where you can see them, her and Mai, kind of giggling about a prank that they were pulling. So,
Yeah.
that you can tell they're probably pretty good friends and hit it
Hmm.
off pretty well.
Then the only ones I got left are like very, 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 very brief. Mei Mei is someone we got to see here a little bit. She was
Mm-hmm.
one of the ones who definitely thought Maki deserved a higher rank, and Mei Mei or May maybe just refer to her as May, but she was
Dismay.
also.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, she's a grade 1 sorcerer who likes money a lot. But that's
Yeah,
really just about all that we know about her right now, I think.
she's the Mr. Krabs of the Jujutsu Kaisen world.
I don't know much about SpongeBob, but I know enough to understand that that's kind of funny.
eh, it was D tier humor, so I get it. Uh,
Well,
that's all I have on her, other than
Mm.
she has an interesting hairstyle. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, she does. She does. And a little bit on Noritoshi Kamo is that, or at least I don't think we knew before now, that he's the heir to the Kamo family.
Hmm.
So I guess, yeah, it's interesting to know that he is supposedly someone pretty important
Mm-hmm.
in that way.
Well, also get his curse technique, right? In this one,
Right, precisely. Mm.
controls his blood. Anything that touches it. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, that's how I understood it as well.
But not only that, he's like doping. He's doping himself, man. Like,
Precisely, yeah.
I don't like you to use that term. It's, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But yeah, again, this is another one of those abilities that yeah, I think is very creative and I love it. I love
Yeah,
how Akutami keeps coming up with all these pretty fascinating abilities here.
very creative.
Hmm. So, is there any other character that you want to talk about that we missed?
Utahime
Mm,
says Gojo is the only person she doesn't get along with. And
yeah,
like she gets along with everybody else apparently, except for Gojo.
apparently.
But I think a lot of people probably say that with Gojo.
Yeah, Nanami would agree, I believe. I believe in the little character bio for Utahime, between two of the chapters in this book, it said that she dislikes Gojo most of the time, or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it was phrased, but like it was something along those lines, like most of the time, which means that
Oh,
sometimes she likes him. I guess.
hmm. Maybe a bit of a tsundere there.
I believe so.
I'm interested to see if they have, or clearly they have some sort of past, but what that
Mm,
past is exactly would be nice to see it expounded upon.
absolutely.
Of
Mm.
course, I just like to have more Gojo in general, but
Right? Yeah, because he's always fun, kind of regardless of who he's interacting with. He always makes it
right,
fun. Like all
yeah.
of his, yeah, yeah. He's brilliant.
Last thing I'll say is the tree curse thing appears. I mean, the
Right.
tree branches coming out of
Mm.
its eyes.
Yes.
And then Mahito at the very end is like, "All right, now it's my time. You were expecting this,
Exactly.
right? Like it was bound to happen. Here I am." Kind of a thing.
Yeah. It was. I guess it was always bound to happen in any kind of like school event like this in a shonen. Of course, the bad guys are gonna kind of pop in and
Now that I think about it, I think you even in one of your predictions said that the curses would come and interrupt the school event.
yeah,
I
I
think didn't you say that?
definitely I did bring up that as a prediction at some point. However, I believe I also made a prediction, perhaps at a later time after I made the first prediction,
Mm-hmm.
that where I believe I said that they wouldn't interfere here because they
Oh,
wanted to bide their time and kind of
oh, really?
like and or like and that they would appear after the event. I believe I may have said something like that as well. So I
Well,
believe I at one point I was right, and at another point I was wrong about this.
just predict every possibility, and you'll get there eventually.
Something will end up being right at some point. But yeah, I guess more on my current predictions.
Do tell.
Well, I guess I'll start off with just some desires
Okay.
before I get into the predictions themselves. I want to see Yuji, kind of how he's keeping up with Todo. Since as I said, like those two were really only in the first third of this volume, so like the last two thirds we didn't see them at all. So very excited to see what's going on there.
Hmm.
And Miwa is in danger right now.
Hmm.
I believe she will be fine ultimately, but I do still worry since, as I said, she is one of the characters that are taking the most of a liking to. So,
Yeah.
yeah, hoping she'll be fine. I believe she will be, but still a little bit slightly worried, I guess. Um, but I guess the main prediction that I have this week or this time is about the villains, like the fact that they're here now. Well, we know they're after Gojo, and I've been thinking plenty about that that whole plan of theirs since last time we recorded,
Mm,
Gojo is such a powerhouse, right?
yeah.
And like, as long as he's around, I doubt the villains can really pose a real threat. And since they can't defeat him, their best option is to seal him, as they talked about, I believe, back in volume 2, as a plan of theirs. So if we want the stakes raised, as much as I don't want to say this, I believe the villains will succeed in sealing Gojo.
Oh.
That's my main prediction this time around. As I said, as we talked about Gojo like just a few minutes ago here, he is such a fun character. He's always a treat to read or to watch. He's all of his interactions with the other characters. Yeah, it's always some of the best interactions.
Yeah.
So it would be sad to see him leave the story, even if
Absolutely.
it's just temporarily. But if we want, as I said, like the stakes to be raised, kind of, and more, yeah,
Yeah, he is incredibly OP. I get it.
exactly. So we kind of need to get rid of him in some sense, and I do believe this plan of the villains to seal him may succeed because of that.
Yeah.
Although that would be, I mean, it would be difficult for them to seal him to begin with.
Sure. Of course. Yeah. Totally.
But I believe they will be able to do that. Since they can't kill him, they will be able to seal him.
Gotcha.
It would suck, but yep. Very well. Then I believe that's most of what this was.
Really battle heavy volume, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. All of it took place during this one event.
Kind of a tournament arc,
Right.
if you will. But with the introduction of the curses at the very end, will that continue?
Precisely. Yeah. Yeah, it's very exciting. I believe Inumaki will be fine. But yeah, it's definitely an exciting part that we're at here. But I believe that's all we had to say this week.
Yep.
Dear listeners, if you enjoy our content, you can follow us on Twitter at Umami Manga, and it would be lovely if you'd like to support us by rating our show on the podcast platforms and subscribing to our channel Umami Manga on YouTube. If you like this episode, please share it with anyone you think might enjoy it too. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time when we'll talk about Volume 6. Bye bye!
See you later.
Mamma Miwa!
Mamma Miwa.